Have you ever felt that cringy, gut-twisting awkwardness of being a teenager? That feeling where every social interaction feels like walking a tightrope over a pit of embarrassment? For me, this seems ages ago, but recently I have been remembering those feelings. What if I told you there's a mangaka who bottles that exact feeling, distills it into ink, and splashes it across the page with terrifying, beautiful precision? Hi everyone, it's Jan from Insightful Jan. That guy who can recite manga plotlines but still can't finish his own tea before it gets cold. Today, we're diving into the deep, dark, and profoundly uncomfortable world of modern master, Shuzo Oshimi. I'm counting down the works that I have read from meh to mind-blowing. Before we dive into that glorious psychological mess, if you love deep dives into manga that challenges you, makes you think, and maybe makes you a little uncomfortable, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It tells the algorithm that we appreciate the weird, wonderful, and soul-shaking stuff around here. So, who is the master of unease, Shuzo Oshimi? Born in 1981, Oshimi has carved a unique and frankly unsettling niche in the manga world. He's not interested in power fantasies or grand adventures. His battlefields are the high school classroom, the cramped bedroom, and the suffocating small town. His monsters are anxiety, sexual confusion, suffocating parental love, and the terrifying chasm between who we are and who we pretend to be. What makes his manga so outstanding? It's his surgical precision. He uses sparse dialogue and hyper-detailed facial expressions to convey a universe of internal turmoil. A bead of sweat, a twitching eye, a forced smile in his hands, these become instruments of psychological horror. He peels back the skin of mundane life to expose the raw, pulsating nerves of the human condition. He's a true author, and today I'm ranking the works of his that I've read, from the fascinatingly strange to the life-changingly profound. So before starting the countdown, I want to clarify that I'm a huge fan of Shuzo Oshimi's works, and I find them all great. This list does not contain all his works, but most of them that I have read so far. And the ranking is my personal opinion. You might have a different opinion, and I respect that. Actually, if you would rank them differently, let me know in the comments. Great. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Coming in at number 8, we have Avant-Garde Yumeko. The premise is, well, it's a choice. Yumeko is a high school girl with a singular, all-consuming obsession. She wants to see male anatomy, so naturally she joins the art club to chase this obsession in the most awkward and surreal way possible. So why is it at the bottom? It's fantastically weird and unapologetically bold, but it feels more like a surrealist curiosity than a full-blown emotional assault. It doesn't land the same gut punches as Oshimi's deeper works. It's more eyebrow-raising than soul-shaking. But hey, it's still Oshimi, so hats off for the daring weirdness. At number 7 is the short story Sweet Poolside. The pitch is simple. We follow two middle schoolers in a swim club. One boy, Toshihiko, is bullied for having no body hair, while the other, Ayako, is deeply ashamed of having too much. They form a strange, secret bond to help each other, exploring self-acceptance, one razor stroke at a time. This one is a quiet, tender, and surprisingly deep little gem. For such a short piece, it's incredibly focused and honest. You can see the seeds of Oshimi's later work here. It's gentle but not afraid to be intimate with its characters' vulnerabilities. At 6, we have another short story. Shino Oshima can't even say her own name because of a stutter. Her introduction in the class turns into a nightmare until she meets Kayo, a tone-deaf classmate who connects through music, showing Shino there's more than words. It's emotionally striking and deeply relatable. Oshimi draws from real anxiety and vulnerability. This one hits different because it feels lived in and authentic. Cracking our top 5 is Happiness. Makoto is a classic bullied loner until he's attacked and bitten by a mysterious vampire girl named Nora. Suddenly, his mundane life is thrown into chaos as he grapples with a newfound bloodlust on top of all the usual teenage longing. It's dark, supernatural, and soaked in adolescent anguish. This is where Oshimi's art style really begins to shine. The visuals are stunning, and he delivers a vampire story that feels emotionally raw and fresh. He blends gore and body horror with introspection beautifully, turning the vampire curse into a metaphor for unwanted, monstrous change. At number 4, we have the deeply unsettling Inside Mari. Isao is a depressed, shut-in college dropout who spends his days stalking a beautiful high school girl named Mari. One day, he wakes up in her body. But the real twist isn't the body swap, it's discovering that the real Mari might not have been who he thought she was at all. This manga is creepy, uncomfortable, and utterly profound. Oshimi takes a familiar trope and twists it into a dark, philosophical exploration of identity, body dysmorphia, and loneliness. It forces you to question the nature of self in a way that will stick with you long after you have finished this manga. In our top 3, a story that pushes every boundary. Welcome back, Alice. Yohei, Kei, and Yui were a tight-knit trio in middle school. Now, in high school, Kei returns after moving away, but now presents as a girl. This return completely shatters the trio's dynamics, forcing all three to confront their identities, their desires, and their messy, messy hearts. This is Oshimi at his most provocative and modern. It's bold, erotic, and deeply honest about the fluidity of gender and sexuality. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He makes you feel the awkward, confusing, and exhilarating rush of adolescent discovery. A truly impactful and necessary story. Our runner-up, unarguably Oshimi's most terrifying work, is Blood on the Tracks. Seiichi is a normal middle school boy with a very loving, doting mother. But one day, on a family outing, he watches his mother push his cousin off a cliff and then smile. From that moment, Seiichi's life unravels into a vortex of psychological horror, trapped under her obsessive, twisted love. This is pure, masterful psychological horror. It's terrifying on a primal level. The tension is almost unbearable. Oshimi's art here is god tier. He captures the smallest micro expressions with brutal, chilling clarity. It's a slow motion car crash you can't look away from, and a horrifying look at toxic parent child relationships. And here it is, my number 1, the masterpiece, The Flowers of Evil. Takao Kasuga, a bookish middle schooler, impulsively steals the gym clothes of Nanako Saiki, the girl he idolizes. But he's caught by Sawa Nakamura, the class outcast, who blackmails him into a twisted contract to expose the perversion hiding within him. What follows is a spiral of guilt, shame, and a desperate search for identity. This is it, the quintessential Oshimi experience. It's raw, it's ugly, it's beautiful, it's unforgettable. The psychological depth, the rich symbolism inspired by Baudelaire's poetry, the character transformations, it's all perfect. Each panel stings. This manga feels like Oshimi's heart laid bare on the page. Twisted, gorgeous, and a profound statement on adolescence. It's an absolute knockout. And there you have it, my personal journey to the unsettling, unforgettable world of Shuzo Oshimi. We went from quirky obsessions all the way to soul-crushing psychological horror. Each one of these works is a masterclass in tension, but for me, The Flowers of Evil remains the absolute pinnacle. It's the book that defines his brutal, beautiful genius. But what do you think? Did I get the order right? Is there a masterpiece I missed? Let me know your rankings down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you want to dive deeper into any of these titles, my full review videos are linked in the description below for each and every one of them. Until next time, and keep your manga messy and meaningful.